the session, we had created our API. We hosted it on Azure DevOps. And then, so today what I'd like us to do is to link this to the Kaizala action card that we created on Monday. So just give me a second, I pick my USB. So as per Monday, let me open the action card. So do all of you have access? Did you manage to have a look at the creating an app service on the Azure portal? Did you manage that, or do you want to work with the Heroku deployments you did?
Yeah, for me, I'm still having problems with my card, so for now I'll work with the Roku. But
Okay.
I don't have any problem with deploying an app on Azure because I've done that before.
Okay, sure. Dickens? Dickens, you're
I'm
on
sorry
mute.
about that. I was muted. Yes,
Sure.
I'm still trying. I'm having a lot of problems with the
Mhm.
with working with the Ubuntu.
Mhm.
I'm not used to Windows that much,
Mhm.
but my application is working quite fine.
Okay. What about you, Thomas?
Hello. Oh, I went to pick something, so I didn't. I started the meeting and then I went to pick something. I left, so I didn't hear the question.
How did you manage to have a look at the Azure deployment?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Did you
did, but
manage
I
to buy an
didn't finish. No, I didn't finish up on deploy because there's something else I was that was catching up. There's something else I had to do in before.
Okay, sure.
Enough time, but probably I'll finish up tomorrow.
No problem. But do you have access to an API that is online, maybe even on Heroku?
Yeah, I think I have an API. Yeah, I have a couple of. Let me. Yeah, I should be able to access.
Okay. If you don't have one,
Yeah.
I think you'll just use this one that's here. Thomas, do you have access? Give me 1 second.
Sorry. Hello? You seem to be on mute.
Sorry. Dickens, do you have an online API that has this post and the get?
Yes, I pushed my code on Heroku.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Isaac?
Yes, I have it already deployed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Hello?
Kaizala pia Mohan. Huh? Mohan. Manade.
Sorry, I'm getting a package delivered, so that was someone who I had to give directions. Let me just forward him instructions. And we can continue. Sorry, I apologize. So let's continue. So what I'd like us to do today is from this group that we you all had a broadcast group. So from the broadcast group, there is an action card of registering a customer. So what I'd like us to do is to link this action card to our backend. Okay, so let's do this practically. So the first thing I'd like you all to do is to log into flow.microsoft.com. Yeah, log into flow.microsoft.com. Then sign in with the email that I had given to you. Okay, so when you click on create, if I leave you behind, just stop me and then I will repeat. So once you click on create, go to automated skip. So a recap of Flow, it is a system of webhooks. So what we first need to put in is a trigger. So what do we need to happen so that we can do a corresponding action? So the thing that we want to happen is we want to do something when someone responds to this action card of ours. So search for Kaizala. Then the specific Kaizala trigger is going to be when someone responds to our custom action, which is this one over here. So we select that. And then we will need to set this up so that it points to the specific group and the specific action card in that particular group. So in this case, the group is the broadcast group you had created. So in mine is Alvaro broadcast group. The action package is customer registration, and the specific action will be customer registration once again. Okay, so now that is our trigger set up. So when this, when someone responds to this particular action, what we want it to do is to store into our database. So for it to store into our database, we need, we have an endpoint set up. The endpoint is this one here. Send a post request to this endpoint, and if you send the post request, yes, Isaac?
Just a minute. While searching for Kaizala, which one are we taking? There's a lot of them when we get a group, when we test. Which one are you picking?
Choose the one called when someone responds to a custom action. It's somewhere at the bottom, like the fourth or fifth from the bottom.
Oh yeah, I found it.
You found it, okay? So after doing that, click on new step. After new step, what you want to do is to send a post request to this particular endpoint containing the payload that is over here. So under actions, choose HTTP. Yep, this green one here, HTTP. And then choose HTTP once again, the very first one. Okay. So you see it gives the options of what HTTP request we need to send. So we want to send a post request, and the post request we are sending to, here you can put your specific backend, or alternatively, if you don't have a backend, you can put mine, which I have put on chat. So we'll send a post request to, in this case, it's https kaizalacrm.azureWebsites.net/customers. So that was the endpoint that we created yesterday. Then under body, we need to send a JSON format body to that particular endpoint. So open and close curly braces. Actually, Postman has a shortcut. If you come to code, you can be able to pick what you want. But let's not be lazy. Let's type it. So open double quotes, first underscore name, colon, and then the value that we are going to send for this property is the answer to question 1, which is right over here. So if you're on body, it should give you these options. So choose answer 1. That is assuming our action cards were created similarly. Next, we want to send the last name. That is now answer 2. So question 2 is the last name, so choose answer 2. Next, we would like to send the, what did we call the property? So we have email, phone, lat, and long. So let's do email next. Email was question 4, so answer 4. comma, phone, colon, phone was, yes, I
Just a question.
Mhm.
I'm still behind. So in this URI field,
Mhm.
should we enter the URI to our deployed API or we should enter yours?
Put yours. If yours is working and you're confident with it, you can put yours.
Okay.
Okay. So under phone was question 3, so we put answer 3. Then the tricky one will be the lat and the long. So lat. Lat is question. So question 5 is the location. So what this will give back is both the latitude and the longitude as an object. So what we should do at this point is let's just put, for now, before we get to debugging, let's just put the answer to question 5 for both the lat and the long values. And then we shall refactor later. Provided we are not having any form of security, otherwise you'd have had to put maybe an authorization token in the header. You could do that here. And if you have any other headers, you can always set them there. But we built a simple API yesterday that didn't have any of those requirements. Then also there are some APIs that you need to be specific in terms of the format of data you're sending. So maybe here you'd have to say you're sending the content type of JSON or form data or whichever other that you could be using, depending on how your API is set up. Okay. Let me know once I will use Isaac as the benchmark. Isaac, once you're done, let me know so that we can proceed. But if there are any other questions, feel free to ask. Isaac, are you done?
Not yet. What did you say about the latitude and the longitude? How do we insert them?
Just answer 5 for both, but we are going to change it later.
Okay.
Hello, I can't see.
Sorry, Dickens.
I can't see answer 2, 3, 4.
Maybe reduce your volume a bit, but are you able to share? Just, do you know how to share your screen? Just share your screen. I have a look.
Hello.
Yes. So to share your screen, just click. There's like a monitor over here with an arrow. So if you click on it, it will ask you what you want to share. Then you can share the specific window.
I can't share the camera.
Not the camera, but the window. Let's see. Do you see such an icon? There's an icon here. Mine, but yours should be having an arrow.
I'm on phone.
You're on phone.
On the computer.
Okay. How can? So for now, maybe just put any random selection. So if you have answer 1 or 2 or 3, just put them there randomly. But we shall redo this later. We shall redo the entire exercise again later.
Okay, so, I've entered all the values. But below it, I can see that enter a valid JSON. I think it's a warning or an error.
Okay, you need to make sure that you have opened and closed your curly braces. Make sure that you have commas everywhere, and make sure that you have used double quotes.
Okay, commas after every field.
Yes, after every line you need to have a comma, except the last one.
Okay. The error has now disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's click on save. And then click on test. And then here say, I will perform the trigger action. So in this way, it is going to wait for us to submit the action card from Kaizala, and then it will attempt to do this request. So click on the test button again. And then once it starts spinning, meaning it's waiting for you to submit the action card, open Kaizala, open your action card, say start survey, and then just submit the action card as you had been doing. George. So once you filled in all the details, say next, and then submit. Okay, so it has triggered the run, but you can see mine has failed. Yeah. So the submission was okay, but what has failed is the HTTP request. So so you see the issue here is the latitude and the longitude. String violation latitude cannot be an array or an object. Yeah. So you see this error is actually coming from our API. Because we had said if something fails, give it a JSON 400 400 response with an error. So we've gotten a status code 400 from our API, and this is the error that has come back, string violation. So because this you see has come back as an object. So what we'll need to do is to see how to pick out the latitude, which comes as LT, and the longitude, which comes as LG. So there are two solutions to this. The first solution is we can try to find a way to make Flow process this well so that it can pick this out. The second option is we can change on our API. So before we go to changing on the API, let's see whether it is possible to say .lt and or .lg so that we can pick out the specific values. So click on edit.
Then I have a question.
Yes, Isaac.
In my API, I mean in the MongoDB schema, I indicated both latitude and longitude fields as strings. Will that present some problems with what you're about to do?
No, because I see right now we are sending them as objects. So what I want to do is to convert them to strings.
Okay.
So let's try it out. So let's see if I doubt that will work. So hold on. So with like I said, Power Automate has very many tools. So one of the other tools which it has is a way in which it can process information and give feedback on that. So what I want to search for is a tool for Power Automate to convert an object to string, or let's say to pick a field, object to string. Get property of an object. So extract value from an object. So possibly, whatever you can want to do, make sure you do a search to see whether Power Automate has the ability to do it. Many times it will. You'll rarely find a case where there's something you need to process, maybe even to do a computation, an addition or a subtraction, but Power Automate could possibly have a tool that would allow you to do that. So let's see here. So we need to use something called a compose. And then we pick the item in this way. Okay. So before we send the HTTP request, so at the top over here where it says plus, click on the plus icon and say add action. and then look for an action called compose, which is this one here, compose data operation. This one that we have here. So select that. And then the next thing, we need to give it input. So as input, let's give it answer 5, which was the location. And it says here we need to do another compose, but with a function. So click on the arrow again at this point, choose add an action, select compose again. So compose data operation. Here as inputs, we need to select. If you click on inputs, you'll see here outputs. So these outputs will be the result of the previous compose. Just a second.
I'm having a problem.
Sure.
I can't see the plus icon that can allow me to add the action, the compose action.
If you hover on the arrow pointing down, the plus icon will pop
up. Mine is not. I don't know why.
So another option for you to do, let's see. What you can do is you can just click on new step.
New step.
And then just click on new step and do the step, and then it will and do the action, and then you can drag it to the position where you want it to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so in this second compose, at this point here, come and click on expression, sorry, and then we are told we need to say outputs, open brackets, compose, then the field value. And outputs has lowercase. So here say outputs. Open brackets. As a string, say compose. Is it outputs? Compose with capital C. And then open square brackets, then also as a string, put the fields. So here say LT. Okay, so this is my expression. Why did that work? Outputs, compose, LT, and say OK. And then I'll do the same. I'll do another one for the longitude. So compose, data actions, here as inputs. Outputs, compose, with capital C, the string say LG. That was it, and then OK. Then come back to your HTTP action, and under latitude, we need to change it from saying answer 5 to the output of compose 2, and then longitude to be the output of compose 3. Yep, so that should give us the specific values of the latitude of the longitude. So if this doesn't work, what we'll do is we'll just go back to our API and process it from there. So from our API, we will say receive this object and then split it into the values that it needs to be. So I'm going to save invalid JSON.
Sorry, what's the variable name for longitude?
The variable name should be LG. Oh, this is my LG, yes.
Thanks.
In lowercase. Valid JSON. Oh, right. So I'm missing full column here. Okay, saved, then test. So right now when you test, you'll have the ability to use data from previous runs, so you don't need to submit the action card again. Select the one that failed and then say test. And the flow ran successfully. So if you come here and look at your HTTP request, you'll see you are able to pick the latitude and longitude using the compose action on flow. So George Mbuthia. So if I go to my database, I need to be able to see George Mbuthia in the database. This is Kaizala CRM, tables, customer, George Mbuthia, perfect. And it stored all the variables as they needed to be stored. So the purpose of the latitude and the longitude. So in many cases, this will allow you to do a report that shows a map of some sort. So I think we'll even do a quick report on this data that we are submitting. So I'll click again on edit. Then there's a way you can change the name of your flow. So
just before you move on, I'm somehow behind. Which values did you enter for the first compose and the second?
So we have three composes. The first compose I put answer 5.
Answer 5.
So for me, yes, answer 5 is the answer to the responder's location. Yours might be different, depending on how many questions are in your action card.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Would you please check for me the database if it went through? I think it went through, but I'm not sure because I used your endpoint.
Okay. Thomas, yes. So let me give you access to this database so that you can be checking it if you'd like.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
So this is the host.
And how did you run?
Okay. Dickens, you want to know how
you run the HTTP?
So to run the flow, you click on test.
Yes.
Okay. And then choose one of these two options. But at Advocate, you choose the second option. If you choose the first option, you'll have to submit an action card. But you can only do the second option after you've successfully submitted an action card before. So if you've done that, choose the second option, then you can select any of these two, and then you say test, and then it will run the flow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Isaac?
Which value did you use for the latitude?
For the latitude is LT. I used, let me show you. So under compose 2, I came to expressions, and this is the expression that I put.
Okay, LT.
Yes. Longitude is LG. So in case you need to connect to this server, I'll put the connection details in chat. The database, password, username, and the host.
Yeah, mine went through.
Yep, good. So in many cases, when you build your Kaizala applications, this is the process you'll be following for this specific type of action card for you to get the data to the database. And I think, as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward thing. Once you get used to it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks, and you have data in your database. So the only hard work actually that we've done was what we did yesterday in terms of creating the backend and deploying it. But you see, once that is out of the way, we have very many things we can do. Yeah. So as I was showing you on Monday, if, for instance, you need to alert someone that a new customer has been registered, you can do another step, and in that other step, you can maybe send an email. And you see the way we have called this endpoint. So if for instance you're using, I don't know, Africa's Talking for sending SMSs, you can actually put the URL for Africa's Talking here, put the headers and the values that are required if need be, and then you send. But if you have another custom endpoint that can send SMSs, you can always call it from this point. So it is a very easy, straightforward way to get data out of the action card. So the beauty of this is that it takes away the whole work that you have to do with the front end. Yeah, so all the data entry that needs to be done on the front end is taken away from you. And once you get the data to the database, I'll show you another easy tool of how you can do reporting without having, to build an entire reporting platform. So Dickens and Isaac, have you managed?
Mine has failed.
What is the error?
It's saying that customer validation failed.
Which endpoint are you using?
I'm using my endpoint.
Also, you had some special types of validation. So once you submit,
yes.
Let me just open this. Once you submit and it shows you that there's an error,
yes.
When you click on HTTP, it should show you the body that was going through. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
So under body, do you have values for all these fields?
Let me check. Yes, I have all the body. I have all the fields and their values.
Okay, why don't you change and use my endpoints, which is there on chat just now? Why don't you just use mine so that we can move forward, and then you can debug yours, because yours must be now a specific validation for your endpoint.
Okay.
Dickens?
I did the first testing and it has it keep on doesn't have a response, so I'm still waiting. I think I should reload the browser.
Sure. Are you using your endpoint or my endpoint?
Yeah, but I tested with the first option, the one that you said we shouldn't be using.
Using mine.
In the test.
Sorry, I don't understand. Which test? Your endpoint or my endpoint?
Your endpoint, but I went to the test flow and I used perform the first option for testing the flow.
Then after you performed, what happened?
It's now it keep on it doesn't give me a result. Keep on loading.
So what you need to do is you need to submit an action card. You need to come to Kaizala and submit that action card. So it is waiting for you to submit the action card. So that is what that first option requires you to do.
Okay, I've changed the URI to yours, but it's still failing. And the error I'm getting is that string violation, email cannot be an array or an object.
Okay, are you able to share your screen so that I can see?
Okay, let me share. Can you see it?
Let's see. Yes, I can see it. So not too long. So what? Click on edit. And then go to HTTP. So email is answer 3. So on LAT, remove answer 5 from LAT.
Pardon?
Answer 5. Remove it, click the X.
This one?
Yes, remove it. And then instead, you need to put, we see where there's compose 3 outputs. Click on outputs for compose 3. Actually, compose 2, sorry. Compose 2 outputs should be the latitude.
Compose 2.
Yes. Then put a comma at the end of that line. And then remove answer 5 from longitude. And then put compose 3 outputs as the value. So you've put it at the wrong point. This thing keeps moving, so you always need to click where you want to put it. Outputs for compose 3. And then do save. Then test. I'll use data from previous one. You select the last one.
Yeah.
So anyway, it doesn't matter. Just select any and test. Okay, click on HTTP. The email cannot contain an array or an object. Okay, scroll down to where there is the body of HTTP. So email is picking. So there's another problem. You've interchanged actually phone and email, but there's another problem with you see you have chosen data type phone.
Yes, yes.
On your Kaizala action card, but for mine I had chosen number, and this is the reason why I prefer to use number than phone. So for your particular case, click on edit. We'll just need to do another compose, so it's no problem. Click on edit, go to the body, the HTTP, sorry. And then you need to interchange email and phone. So for email, choose answer 4. Put it before the comma, not after. Email is answer. So if you scroll down, it actually shows you question 4 is the email address. So you put answer 4.
Answer 4.
Yeah. And then question 3 is phone number. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to do another compose. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So scroll up. Let's just do it quickly.
So I remove this for this one.
Yeah. Remove that one. and then scroll up. Yes, so over there, do another click on it and say add an action. Then choose compose, type there compose. And scroll down, compose.
This one.
Yep, and then choose the action that's below there. And then under inputs, put answer 3, because answer 3 is the phone number that's an object. And then on click the plus sign again and do another compose after this
Below
one.
above it.
Below it. Below it. Then choose zip data actions. Yes, another compose. So type compose there again. Scroll down, choose the first one, compose. And then under inputs, click on expressions. Then type, what was there? Outputs, was it outputs? Yes, outputs, plural, open rounded brackets. So here I think you'll put compose, should be compose space 4. Scroll up. Scroll up, I show you the name up on your list of flows. So it should be compose space 4, that one. Because that is the one you want. Yeah, compose space 4. So type that inside, capital C.
That way.
Then in square brackets, put as a string also, I think it was phone, I don't remember. Let's type phone, PHONE.
It was FN.
Oh, it's okay. F or P?
It was F.
FN.
F. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, put FN. Yeah, then say okay. FN. N for number. Then say okay. So I'll go to HTTP. The HTTP action, the last one. And then instead of phone, put outputs under compose 5.
This one. Is it this one? Hello. Hello.
Hello, Isaac.
Excuse?
Yes, yes.
You need 2 commas. One after
Yeah.
the line for email, one after the line for phone. And then run your test. Thomas, you had a question?
No, I just wanted to tell him to put the commas.
Sure. What is wrong with your JSON now? Commas, first name, last name, email, phone. Who can spot the error there? Not long phone email. Isaac, let's try this. Under email, remove answer 4 and then return it. Return it and then you put a comma. To be answer 4 and put a comma. Interesting. I do this. Delete everything and let's put them again. Remove everything in body. Just Control A and remove everything. Yeah, let's just start it again. Open, close. First name.
Someone. Problem is found on email. Is email the third or the fourth? Huh? Hapa ni info, nadhani info.
So, yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead. So for you to be able to know, just read the questions and then match them to the corresponding answers.
Okay. So for latitude, it was composed.
I don't remember. Scroll up. I think it's composed 3 for latitude. 3 latitude. Yeah, just click on that. We see. It actually depends with the with the way you have structured your items. Okay, save and test. So sometimes it's that validation just was not working. So you just need to redo it again. Sometimes you actually need to delete the whole action and then do the test.
I'm still getting an error.
Hello?
Yes.
I think you have a problem with, you see, the font value.
Yes.
Yeah, the font, you see, you had recomposed the font value and you're taking in the original font input field, and then you are composing it out to I think output 5. So maybe you should try
Yes.
try doing the output 5 on the
Okay.
font value. Yeah.
Still an error.
It's like the output 5 has an error from the as in from, perhaps it's the maybe the input you did. So maybe you can check the last JSON requests you made to be sure about the field with which the phone number was sending, the actual field name, the key name of the field value.
It's the name of the field.
Yeah.
Just click on yes, that's actually right. So to do that, click on my flows on the extreme left. Yes, extreme left. Just say okay. And then yes, click on that. And then scroll down and select the first one, the one at the very top. So select that. And then click on HTTP, expand HTTP. Scroll down, so it's PN. Yeah, it's PN, not FN. Yeah. So now go to click on edit. Then go to. We need to do that again. Anyway, it's fine. Go to, click the plus sign after compose 2. Add action. Compose. Then throw in there answer 3, which is a phone number. Inputs is answer 3. Okay, then let's go to click the plus sign again. Do another compose and choose compose. Yes, inputs, click on expression. So the outputs, open rounded, inside the single quotes, compose 4. Then after that, square, inside single quotes, PN. Then go to HTTP. Expression is invalid. Why is it invalid? Outputs compose PN. Why is that invalid? Square brackets as a string PN. Functional X compose 4. Curiously, just remove the space 4. Let's do okay. Maybe that's it. So we'll wait and say it's okay. HTTP. So email should be answer 4. Then phone should be output for compose 5. Save it. So compose underscore 4. I've just seen, scroll up.
Okay.
So for compose 5, double click here. Change that expression to compose underscore 4. Update. Click on update, then save. Test. From previous runs, choose whichever you'd like, and test.
Wow.
Down. Good, it has worked. So in this case, what you've seen is in the case where you choose phone as a data type, you also need to compose it so that you can pick the correct details. So I'm resharing my screen. Yep, and we have Isaac's details here. So I think everyone has been successful. Unless, is there any other question before we move on? Okay, so we have successfully created our endpoint that has submitted data. So we are not limited as to how much information we can pick. So what I'd like to do as an exercise to make sure that everyone has understood well, I would like us to create a new action card. So let's do what? Here's my sticky notes. Let's do the case where we have a patient in a hospital. So in this case, in our database, we have these phone numbers. So this is what we will use as the identifiers. So for us to pick data of a patient, this is interesting. So for us to pick data of a patient, let's pick the patient. Let's pick these details. 1 is the phone number of the patient. 2 is the what? Symptoms. Under symptoms, we can have cough, fever, running nose, pain. Then number 3, we can have assessment. Let's do diagnosis, flu, mild cold, COVID. 4, prescription. Let's do Panadol. What shall we do? Panadol, Moxil. Then number 5, we'll have prescription amount, quantity. For phone, it It will be up to you. Either you do a phone number or a number field. Under symptoms, you will do checkboxes. Checkbox meaning I can select, no, let's just do a drop down. Checkbox will be a pain. Actually, let's do a checkbox so that you can do something challenging. So I can select many. This one, let's do radios. I can select one. Prescription, radios, or I can select one. Prescription quantity, let's do a number fields. So I need you to store these details in your database. So what this means is you need to create an endpoint that will retrieve this. So I'm assuming in this case it was Isaac and Thomas who used my endpoint. So you will need to add this to your endpoints. I will build my own, but build yours so that you actually do the full exercise. And then what we'll do after, it depends. Do the back end, do the front end first, it doesn't matter. But what you'll do last is the flow. And then in Kaizala, what you're going to do is to create an action card. And this action card is going to, let's see, this action card is going to submit these symptoms. So we have customer, although it should have been patient. So customer registration, but then here do an action card for diagnosis. Remember to put an icon that that describes it well. Then once you do the action card and you submit, the details should go into a database. So once you do that, you should be able to, what should you be able to do? Once you do that, you should be able to, we will do a type of report. So in the meanwhile, while this is happening, I'd like you all to go and, if you haven't used it before, download something called Power BI. Download it directly from the Microsoft website. And then we shall do a very simple report. Although this is another specialty on its own. Download Power BI, so download Power BI desktop. It might ask you to go to the store. If you're using Windows. If you're using Linux, I have no idea. But I'll put the link here on the chat. So advanced download options. Let's see if they have a version for Linux. It's only supported on Windows. Interesting. Anyway, let's cross that bridge when you get there. If you have Windows, download Power BI. If you don't, we'll see if there's an alternative, because it's an online version, although it has some pros and cons. So go ahead, let's do this this task. Remember, you need to do a flow that stores into that database. Then you actually can also relabel your flows. So I'll call mine here customer registration. Then save customer. Okay, that's fine. So I'd like you to begin the exercise. If you have any challenges, let me know. If you finish, also let me know so that we can review. Then I think try to do it as fast as possible so that we can proceed together. Okay, go ahead. I'm putting these requirements in the chat in case you need to refer to them.
Hello?
Yes, Thomas.
Would you please, did you share the content?
Yes, it's on the chat. If you open the chat, the
Okay.
requirements are there.
Okay, let me check.
For me, since yesterday I created the pipeline, I've made my changes, tested them on local hosts, and I've pushed. Give it 1-2 minutes, it will have deployed to production. So see, now that is where you start realizing the advantages of CI and CD pipelines.
Hello.
Yes, Isaac?
I'm having a problem with the Kaizala management portal.
What is wrong?
I'm trying to log in with the credentials you gave us, but it says that password is incorrect. So I don't know why. Then I was thinking of maybe using my phone to create.
You can try to see if that works, but it's strange. Who else can't log into the management portal? Are you able to reset your password?
Let me try that. Then what if I wanted to use my phone to create the form?
There are times when it will not appear in flow, but you can try. You can try that and let me know if it works.
Okay, with that, I'm only seeing a limited set of actions. I can't see actually the option for the custom action.
Sorry, yeah. Then another thing, I think on the phone, you can't create a form, right? You can only create a survey, but you can't create a form, and a form is what you need to create.
Okay.
So there's no option for creating a form.
Okay, let me try to reset it then.
Okay.
I'm trying to reset it, but it's not going through.
What is it saying?
It's saying that you can't reset your own password because the password reset isn't properly set up for your organization. You must contact your administrator to both reset your password and to check your organization setup.
Send me the email that you had, but you see now I need to request someone to reset it, and that might take a while. So just send me the email. I'll ask someone to reset it.
Okay.
But what you can try to do is register for your personal Microsoft account, and then it should give you access to the Kaizala portal. So try it with a personal account.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
I think it's something with the code because I also submitted and I have the same error you have, and yet if I check my data is okay, and my fields are also okay. So I think perhaps it's the input, it's the data at the the request level, or maybe the models.
That's now forgot now.
I realized that I had changed the password for my account. Yeah, so it's now working.
Okay. What is wrong with this? Thomas, have you found the solution?
Not really. I think I have a feeling it's in the I have a feeling it's in the code, probably where you're taking the request and populating to the fields of the model. Because if I look at my request, even from from the portal and from Postman, it's the same error. They're not null error.
Okay. Thomas, so for me, what I've done, I've changed my header. So I'm setting my content rather than JSON. I've changed my header to use application from URL encoded.
Okay.
Then this is how I'm setting my data, and that has worked.
Okay, let me change mine. So
Again, I recommend a few changes, but just
So I think I'm done. Who else is through?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I changed the input values and it went through.
Oh, you change it to what I've put here?
Yeah, I just changed it to a URL value, like URL coded value. And
Okay,
it went
sure.
through.
So that is 2 out of 5. We are through.
Hello? And then the host name for the database you're using, the one you sent, I
Yes.
think you would you counter check the host name of the database?
Yeah, it's wrong. Just making the edits. Okay, I've edited it on the same message. Huh?
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Isaac.
Can I test with your endpoint URI?
No problem. If you guys, actually, if you're taking too long with your endpoints, you can just use mine. So mine is the same, but slash diagnosis.
Okay.
Dickens and Patrick, how are you faring?
Yeah, I'm testing my flow if it's working.
Okay. So despite the things that we did yesterday, you see today have come in handy for me because of my rapid deployment. Yeah, so I spend little time in between coding and deploying. So I think that's where quite a number of things stall. Patrick, Isaac, Dickens, how far are you?
Yeah, I'm testing. Mine is still failing.
Would you like to share your screen if you can?
Okay.
Just run the test. We see where it is failing. Maybe reduce your volume to minimize the echo.
So it's like nothing is happening at this point.
Are you able to test your endpoint on Postman to make sure it works?
Yeah, I tested it on Postman and it was working.
Are you able to share the Postman screen with me?
Yeah. Let me test it here. And right now you can see there's only one document in my database here.
Yep.
And now if I send this, there are two of them.
Okay, just show me the place you're running the endpoint from.
Yeah.
Content just add content type to your flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, do edit. Under headers, under URI, the headers, yes, content type. Just type it out, content type. Content, capital C, no, inside the key. You don't need any dynamic content.
Yeah.
So inside the key, content -type.
All C.
Capital T for type. And then application JSON under value. Okay, try run that again. Actually, sometimes what Flow does is it queues these requests of yours. So go to click on My Flows on the left menu. Then choose that. Yeah, should be the top one. Then scroll down. And you see here the ones that say test running or running.
Yeah.
I'd like you to cancel all these ones. So start with the bottom one. Click on it. And then do cancel at the top. So cancel all of them. We'll go back to the list of flows. Cancel the next one. Okay, do edit. Edit at the very top, on the top menu. Then test it now.
Okay, let me just submit another one.
Yes. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Just you can resubmit.
Tab.
As this is running, just go back to the place where you are testing your endpoint. By that tab.
Okay.
Where have you put the payload, the body?
It's using this new stuff here. I'm not so used to it. I didn't have Postman, so.
Or just give me the endpoint. I see if I can run it on Postman. Show me show me the endpoint. HTTPS what? Kaizala something.
Just sent it in chats.
Okay. So, pick it. Sessions on the body. Is your body the same as how have you labeled your variables? Just the same way I've labeled mine.
No, it's phone, symptoms, that.
Show me maybe even from flow. Phone symptoms.
And I see what I shared here. Wait, how can I stop sharing and share multiple?
Click the
yeah,
and then share your screen. Okay, phone symptom NPS, diagnosis, prescription, diagnosis. And prescription quantity. Okay, hold on a bit. Could you check if there's another document that has come?
okay.
There's a way you could have chosen to share your whole screen, and then it could under share, just go to screen. It should be on the extreme left.
Yeah.
Okay, check if there's another document that was saved. Refresh this.
Yeah, there are 3 now.
Sure. So, show me your Kaizala. Edit your flow.
flow.
Let's do edit. Show me HTTP. Actually, I'd like to see the value you've put for, okay, go to my flows on the left, choose the flow. Show me one of the cancelled runs. Expand HTTP. It is cancelled. So what I've noticed with your endpoint, did you submit a phone number which had a 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Your endpoint doesn't accept that. I think try without a 0. So do stop the current flow from running.
Okay.
Then do edit. Top right. Okay, show me. Okay, there. Do test. Then I'll perform the trigger action. Then from your phone, submit the action card again, but don't put a 0.
Okay.
On the phone number. Just try that and see if it will work. Still hasn't submitted. Huh? Okay, just cancel this from running.
Wait, what's the data type for the radios?
They should come back as, yeah, that could be your other problem. So cough, for coughs, it was a multiple. You could select multiple, right?
Yes.
But it's coming back as an array. No, actually, symptoms is an array.
Yeah, it's an array.
But
So
yours didn't seem to have issue. When I submitted a string from Postman, it was okay. Just open your flow. Stop this and do edit. Okay, expand HTTP. Phone. So under phone, let's try submit it with hard-coded values. So under phone, put any phone number without a 0. Okay, symptoms, put a string. No, where for the phone, put it outside the, yeah, like that. Yep. Symptoms, put any string.
symptoms is an array.
For me, I submitted a string on Postman and it was okay. I just try it with a string. Diagnosis, also a string. It has run away. Prescription or string, sorry. And then you see for quantity, you are putting question 5. Maybe that was the issue. It should have been answer 5.
Yeah.
But let's just try it like this, and then we return the variables. Then put any number. Then do tests. Enter valid JSON. Use data from previous run. Or if you've done it, it's okay. Just submit it. It's fine. Just submit it from your phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was, it must be a data type that is wrong. So do edit. Edit at the very top. Let's change this back, put the phone number. Symptoms, diagnosis. Okay, test. Use data from previous runs, then use the one at the top. And that's, yeah. Yeah.
It's working.
What you need to do is to for the API that you create, make sure that it sends a response on failure, a 400 response that Flow can read, and then it should terminate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Isaac Dickens.
I'm getting an error.
Share your screen, please, if you can. Are you able to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, please share.
There it is.
Okay. So you need to change. Go to edit. So what was wrong here is the content type. So content type there under headers. Content capital C hyphen type capital T. So it should be hyphen capital T for type, TYPE, then enter value. Type application / X hyphen 3 W's www hyphen, remove number 3. It's www.
Oh.
hyphen form 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 F for fish form hyphen URL encoded, one word, URL encoded. Okay, then in body, remove the opening brace, remove the braces, actually both of them, opening and closing. Then for phone, remove the quotes. So you'll also need to remove all the quotes. And then instead of a full colon, you'll put an and sign. Instead of full, equals, sorry, equals, phone equals answer one. And then instead of a comma, you'll put an and sign. The shift 7 if you have the normal keyboard. No, after answer one, remove the comma. And then put the and sign instead of the comma. Yeah. And then you need to put everything in one line. So do that for everything else. So yeah, just do everything. Symptoms equals answer 2. And for me, my symptoms does not have a P. It is symptoms. TOMS.
That is that way.
Yes. So then if you have spaces after the equal sign, just remove them.
Okay.
Then go before phone. Yeah, remove that space. There's a space you are removing, just remove it. Also symptoms has a space. Then go to before phone. Then and quantity, yeah, before phone, do backspace. Then and quantity, before quantity, and for quantity has a space. Remove the space. Remove also the one there at prescription and the one at symptoms. And also symptoms. Then click at the end of answer 5. Then press the back arrow on your keyboard. Once, press it once.
Back arrow.
Yeah. There's top, bottom, left, right. So press the left one. Okay, there's no space. Test, we see. Okay, that's fine. So in this case, another thing you need to learn is the different ways you can pass data to an API. So they're actually very, very many. So form URL encoded is one, JSON is another, there's another one called form data. And I think those 3 are the common ones, but there are others. So if one way fails, you just need to understand how the API is accepting data.
Okay.
Okay, then Dickens.
Yes.
Dickens, have you managed?
Yes, I've just hosted the API successfully. Now I've inserted the URL on the HTTP. Now I'm just want to send the form to trigger the form.
Okay, so what you can do, maybe you can test that after I finish, so that let me introduce one concept, and then, because this concept is what we'll do for the next 2 days, and then after the lesson, if you want, you can test it out on your time. Yeah.
Sure.
So I'd like to introduce something called custom action cards. So currently we have been working with action cards, which are more or less forms that we generate from the management portal. But there are times you will get requests, actually many times you get requests where people want, they want to do more than just submit a form. But very many times you can actually create a solution and get away with just having them submit a form. So let's say, for instance, someone wanted, instead of picking the phone number, they wanted a drop-down list containing all the customers that are there in the database. How would you put that data there? Maybe they have a database of symptoms and they want to populate that list from the database. How would they put them there? Same case for diagnosis. And then maybe they want, if you submit, they might need to test and see whether they might want to validate the information before submitting. So maybe if you press submit and the patient entry is not valid, yeah, they could possibly want a pop-up saying invalid patient. So that means, you need to also validate from your backend. So what we are going to learn now are called custom action cards, and custom action cards normally can cater for such scenarios. So to build a custom action card, where is the Kaizala portal? What you do, you'd come and do a Google search for Kaizala custom actions. And then what will happen is you'll be redirected. Sorry, I should be sharing my screen. But have you understood what I was explaining about validating this form before submitting?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So you could want to validate before submitting, or you could want to populate the form with data from a database. So in this case, is where we build the custom action. So if you come and you do a Google search for Kaizala custom actions, you will be redirected to the Kaizala documentation on the Microsoft website. And over here, there is a link. There is a link. Let me just find this link. So there's a link that will take you to a place where you can download the custom actions, and I think it should also be here. But let me do it from here. Let's see. Download Kaizala custom action cards. Kaizala custom action cards. Okay, so what I did, and in the documentation, I just went to the developer platform, so Kaizala for developers. So I clicked on this, And then what that did is it took me to a whole list of things that you can do as a developer. But then there's another link for get started with Kaizala actions, get for developing, yeah. Action package. Yes, download sample action packages. So this is where you'll get it. So later on you can go and read on this, but I'll give you a crash course on what you need to learn here. So if you click here to download the sample action package, it will redirect you to the Kaizala management portal. And under here you have two types of action cards that you can download. So we have here what is called the request response action card, and then we have what is called the response only action card. So a request response action card, remember when you created a survey from the phone, you created a survey and then you sent it to someone and told them it is due in 4 days. So this is an example of a request response action card. It's something you will send to someone and request them to submit, and after a given period of time. But what you want and what you will work on 100% of the time is the response format action card. So this action card is what you have been doing under forms. Yeah, so you'll be able to create your own type of forms. So I'll go and download this. So let me extract it.
Sorry, which one did you download?
I downloaded response format, the second one. Okay. And this is where, let's call this fleet, because we shall do a fleet. No, let's just do hospital. So, so in this case, we want to build a patient registration and diagnosis system. Yeah. So I'll open this with my editor. Then you'll see it comes with a set of files. Okay. So these files are what will give you the ability to build your own action card. So for you to build your own action card, the first thing is package.json. So if you've worked with Node, yeah, package more or less defines what your application is. So in this case, what you need to do is to change a couple of things here. One is the ID, okay? So let me change my package ID. It needs to be unique. I'll call this hospital. House. Schema version, leave it at 1. So this you will never change. Display name, call it hospital. Hospital. So this display name is what is going to be seen over here at the bottom. Provider name, it's the person who built it. You can put your name or your company name. App icon should be the icon that you're going to see attached to the action card. So let me download another one. So you need to put it in the root. So firstaidkit.png is mine. version 1, minor version 1. So you will only change the version when you change what we call the app model. So the app model is the structure, the questions that are going to be present. So if you ever change the app model, you'll need to change the version. But for any other change, you'll only change the minor version. The next is the app model. So the app model, like I've said, are the questions that are going to be submitted within this action card. But in some cases, you can get away with not using an app model, but I'd always advise you to use it. Next is the description. So let's say patient registration and diagnosis platform. These you can ignore: dials, action scope. It's going to be in a group, yes, chart canvas view. So at this point, the chart canvas view is what you see here. When you submit an action card, yeah, this is what it's what is displayed here. This is the chart canvas view. So when you submit, I think you noticed over here, it normally says sending your response, right? So that is this message that comes here. You can edit it if you want. If it fails to send for whatever reason, this is the message that will be displayed: failed sending your response. You can adjust it if you want. But if it succeeds, you should be able to see response sent. But in this case here, it says you responded. So we will test and see whether we will see this. Then next we have what is called the creation view. So the creation view is this. When you open the action card, it is what you get to see here. Okay, so all the questions which are displayed is what you get to see here. And lastly is the response results view. So this is what you will see as the summary page. Yeah, when you write all the, when you let me even put them here. When you check, when you submit the response summary, so that is what is called the response results view. So that is this page, and it has its own HTML page. Response is what will put the questions in. So, and that is practically it. That is the structure of the custom action card. So the app model are the questions that will be displayed. And so this you can adjust. So you can see here the types of questions. You can have text, you can have numeric, you can have single select. So single select, what these ones that we were putting here. Multiple select are these ones here. We can have an image. You can request someone to submit a picture. For instance, a doctor can want to take a picture of an injury of a patient. The name text. These are the details of the person who has registered on Kaizala. So in this case, it can pick my name and my phone number as because this is my Kaizala account. Location. So if you request for location, it will go into this field. And lastly is the response time. So this is the time the action card was submitted. So these last 4 items, location being not mandatory, these last 4 items should always be submitted. So these ones will never change. But the rest, you can put the questions you want. So for instance, if I'm doing a patient registration system, I can come here and say, I want first name of type text. I want last name of type text. I want a phone number, type numeric. Maybe I want email, which was what was in my form, but you can put really whatever you want. I'm just using one which I have an endpoint for, and the rest I don't need. I don't want this, I don't want image. Yeah, let's leave name and the rest. Okay, so this is my form. This is what I want to submit. So the next thing before we go into the nitty-gritties, is the what is called CAS client. So when you build a node application, let's say you want to add file upload, yeah, you'll go and you'll find a package for file upload, and then you'll do npm install file upload, and then you will use various functions inside that package. So CAS client is similar. You can look at it as a package, but it is a package for Kaizala that more or less connects this action card to your device so that it can get location, which needs to come from the device. It can get various other Android-related packages that come with the application. So any questions until there? None. Okay. So the next thing after this is the response. So this page contains a lot of things. So once you start developing, I think you need to find your own way of displaying this so that it makes sense to you. So I have actually ever gone through all of this JavaScript, so I understand everything that happens here. So what I would perhaps say is start with events of how does this page load, or how does it render. So the way it renders is there's an on-page load function. So on-page load, this is the function that runs. When it runs, it does very many things. So wherever you see CAS client dot something is where the CAS client package is being called to match the operating system, Android or iOS, to give specific activities inside this HTML file. So for instance, this one here, it's even commented out, registers backpress event for Android. So apparently with Android, if you open an action card and you want to press this back button, if you don't have this method here being called, you will not be able to press this back button. So that's the function of that. So the next thing is get localized string. So what this does is it goes and it reads from a page here called string. Sorry, I forgot to explain about this one. So the strings normally is in your app model. If you say first name, normally you'd need to define a string that corresponds to first name. So for instance, you can see, let me just undo, text question was a question. So you can come here and see text question exists here. And then here you see it says sample text question. So this is what the user is going to see. Yeah. So for your app, wherever you want to have what is called text question, the user will read it as sample text question. So so what more or less it does is it picks the strings associated to the app model. Get from async, I've forgotten what this one does, but if I remember, I will tell you. So, okay, so the get localized strings will pick from the strings, but get from async is going to pick the questions from the app model that need to be displayed. And then it does something called inflate HTML. So inflate HTML, in short, will go and populate your header, and if you have a footer, it will populate the footer. Inflate questions will put your questions into the page. We shall go into details about that later, but I'll just summarize. And then get current user details async. So you see when you register on Kaizala, your user details are stored by Android. This is the phone and this is the name of the person. So that this function here gets those details of the user. Get current user, get user details. So these two actually do that. So here it returns your user ID. Then using your user ID, it picks your name and phone number. And then inflate details view, there's a part where your details are displayed. So that is what it does. So I'm only going to focus today on the on-page load, but tomorrow what we shall do, we shall look at the specifics of inflate HTML, inflate questions, and the likes. So once you have set up your questions, you need to deploy this action card to the Kaizala portal. So that is as simple as going here, zipping your files without a folder, going to the Kaizala portal. Then we have been doing new action. So today we shall do import action. So under import action, you just need to come to this place where you zipped your work. Say import. Use the latest class client J. So over here, what this means is we need to come and download Kaizala Action SDK, the latest version. So I'm downloading that. So that is here. So class client, delete, and I push this latest one. Means I need to zip it again. Stage, activate, add to groups. So I'll add it in my broadcast group. Let all admin and members be able to submit it, click publish. So if you're a member of my group, you'll actually be able to see it, and I think you all are. Discard this. So if you come here, you'll be able to see it. Yeah, hospital. Allow. Then you can see sample question, sample numeric question. So these are the, you see here it says sample text question because that is what was there in my string. Sample text question, but it maps it to text question, which was there in my app model. etc, image and all. So so if I come here and I put a response for my question, for my numeric question, for my radios, for my checkbox, I do next. So you see here, it has picked my name and phone number because I am the one who registered. So these details are picked because of this function here, this to get user details. And then under inflate details view, it says display the phone and the phone and what? Phone and the name that has been retrieved. So these two constitute the response HTML. And then the next page is a summary of the questions that I have responded to. And that is response summary, which is what I explained to you, is known as the response results view. So that is it, and then you can submit the action card. So what we shall work on tomorrow is how to put our own custom questions using the app model, but we will take it a step further in terms of we will need to build, you see here we had 2 action cards. Yeah, we shall build these 2 action cards into the one called hospital. We shall have a tab that says diagnosis, and another one that says customer registration. So that is now the introduction for the custom actions. So let's, we shall pick up now on this tomorrow. So are there any questions? Sawa. Since there are no questions, let's meet tomorrow. So I'd urge you to, between today and tomorrow, try to make sure you understand how to build your own API, deploy your own API, and link it to Flow. I think you have understood how to create the action cards from the management portal. But if you can, if you want to, you can read a bit about action packages. So anatomy of a Kaizala action package is what I've just taken you through, but this one has very many more details about it. And getting started here, I'll just put this link in chat. Anyway, I've honestly never liked Microsoft's documentation. It is it's not nice. But anyway, and what you're going to discover actually, we can decide not to work with questions, but in our response HTML, we can decide just to build our own web application. Yeah, so if you have knowledge of, let's say, Bootstrap or front-end, whatever front-end frameworks you have, we can actually include them into this and build our own applications for it. But the only point is perhaps we'd have to, sometimes, many times you'd want to validate who is the one who is submitting your action card. Yeah, and you might want to deny, and not really to deny, but not to use some of the form processes, which are the submits that are there that we have been doing up until now. So that's what we shall do tomorrow. We shall build a mini application into our custom action. We shall number one, I'll teach you how to adjust your own questions in case for the cases where we've said you just want to have a form, but you want the form to have data that comes from the database. So I'll teach you that first, and then we shall work on how to build an application completely into this action card. So that is what is in store for the rest of the week. So let's meet tomorrow, and then we shall take it from there. Bye, see you.
Bye.
Watu niko mabangi no matumia